Hey, I'm Richard Jaffe, and this is the Injury Law Podcast channel, brought to you by the Law Office of Cohen and Jaffe. If you've ever had questions about car accidents, slips and falls, trials, or how injury law really works, you're in the right place. We're diving into real stories, real cases, and everything in between. Let's break it all down, one story at a time.
Hello, everyone in podcast land. Thank you very much for joining us. If this is your first time listening, thank you very much for joining our podcast here at cohenjaffe.com. My name is Rich Jaffe. I am a lawyer. I am a partner of Cohen and Jaffe, LLP, personal injury attorneys, and I happen to be a motorcycle enthusiast, but I represent people who are injured in motor vehicle accidents, trips and falls, people who are injured, victims who are injured as a result of the negligence of others. And if you're a repeat listener, thank you very much for coming and listening again. So, I am here talking about some interesting things today, especially insurance tricks. Tricks insurance companies actually try to pull and play to minimize your claim. And I'm here with a very good friend of mine. His name is Millian, and we're going to be chatting all about that. How you doing, Millian?
I am doing well. It is great to be here. I love the topic of insurance tricks because they're going to try, but we're going to out trick them. We got them. I'm so excited.
I'm seriously, I'm going to undo their trickery, their
Do it.
tomfoolery. I am, but you know what? I gotta be straight with you. I'm
They're
a little pissed off.
shenanigans.
Yeah, it's total. I don't know if I'm allowed to like say. I'm going to say the word or initials BS. BS. It's
Mm,
like right out of a handbook, but they take advantage of people. These insurance companies take advantage of people, and it pisses me off every time I see like Nationwide is on your side. Really? Really? You're on my side?
right.
Really? Then why are you doing this? You're in good hands with Allstate. Okay, I don't know what hands those are, but I don't want to be in those hands.
Bum,
Okay,
bum, 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 bum.
right. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do it. They have, I mean, look, one has the gecko, one has like some ostrich or something running around, the emu or whatever the heck. They should have piranhas, alligators, something,
Yes.
crocodiles. It's absolutely ridiculous. I can I just tell you a story? I
Yes,
have to
please.
get this off my chest. Okay.
I got to hear it now. After you see
Okay.
you're singing on the show, I got to hear it now.
Okay, good. Yeah, you're stuck. You're stuck with me.
I'm
So
watching.
I have a really nice client, okay, who shall remain nameless to preserve his identity and confidentiality. But he was in a car accident. It was really bad, and it happened out in Staten Island. I'm allowed to say that. And he's a pretty intelligent guy. And I always tell my clients, please do not do anything. Do not sign anything. Don't talk to anybody. Don't post on social media, not on Facebook or Instagram, whatever you do. Please don't post on it. He's got me. Okay, fine. That's no problem. Don't sign anything without me looking at it. Great. So it's early on in his case, and the insurance company for the other side, who happens to be at fault. I mean, it's totally obvious. This guy made a left-hand turn right in front of my client.
Mm.
So the insurance company starts calling him about his car and says, look, we want to take care of it. Don't worry about it. And I get involved and I tell the insurance company, hey, I represent the plaintiff, so please do everything, say everything through me. And what do? They turn around and they send the client some papers without me looking at it. And lo and
Mm.
behold, the papers they send are something called a release. A release.
Oh
So
no.
if you sign this release,
Oh no.
then your rights are over. Okay. So they send it to him and they say, okay, this is what we agreed to pay you for your car. It was whatever, it was a few $1,000s. And all you got to do is sign here, return it. And luckily, my client sent me the papers to take a look. And I take a look, and it's actually a release for his entire claim, not just the property damage, not just the car, but for his pain and suffering, personal injury, lost wages, any future medicals, any past medicals, everything. And if he would have signed that without me taking a look at it, his rights would have been over. And it pisses me off that the insurance company would actually try something like this. So like sneaky, like a snake in the grass. And they knew about my representation, but they still decided to try to trick the client. And thank God the client was savvy enough to, take a look at it and say, I just want my lawyer to look at this. And I
Wow.
looked at it and I warned him. So he's obviously on alert, and we're trying to lobby against this. We're trying to get some laws against this stuff, but so far we've gotten a lot of resistance because politics being what they are. But it just pisses me off. And I'm hoping that people will listen to this little story and say, look, I need a lawyer because, people don't know. It's not that people are not intelligent. They just don't understand what they're looking at or what they're signing or the ramifications of what they're doing. So it upsets me. It upsets me. And, I took care of things, I reported it to the powers that be, and probably nothing will happen because that's just the way things are. But please, people, do not sign something. Do not do anything without talking to a lawyer. If you're in a car accident and you're hurt, please just hire a lawyer. It's free. I'm free for a consultation, and I charge a contingency fee. That means if you don't win, then you pay me nothing, not a dime, not a penny, nothing. So what's the drawback of calling somebody like me? And by the way, you can get me at 516-358-6900, or you can look me up online at cohenjaffe.com. That's COHENJAFFE.com. And just reach out to me. I'm available 24/7, and I'm hoping nobody tests me at like 3 a.m. But these things don't have office hours. But if you leave a message and I'm sleeping or something like that, I promise I will call you back. I just have to find my phone in the dark. But please, just be careful about what you do. And that's only one of the tricks that insurance companies pull. And I'm a little pissed off. Not at you, not at anybody out there, but I'm pissed off. I'm a little angry. You could tell I'm a little I don't know. I'm starting to sweat.
Okay, I got questions. Hold on a second. And you sort of answered this, but I thought once you bring in an attorney, it's illegal for them to try to go to the client directly. But am I misunderstanding that?
No, you're exactly right. Right. We're saying illegal, but the penalties for an insurance company are so small. You report it, at least in New York, right? So you report them and you say, hey, they violated something, and the insurance company comes up with some cockamamie story. Oh, I didn't know, it was a mistake. My left arm was asleep at the time. Whatever they come up with, right? And it's called the Department of Financial Services in New York that's in charge of all the insurance companies. You report it, and what do? Nothing. They do nothing about it. So there's no criminal charges about it. There's no civil charges about it. You just file a complaint, and if the insurance company gets enough complaints, I guess, then they can't do business in New York. But New York will never do anything about that because insurance companies pay a lot of money to the state. So, it's like this whole big vicious circle. And who's left in the middle? It's the victim.
What I was kind of curious about when you do sign something like that, and I'm not completely clear on like certain contract laws or this or that, but how sometimes you buy something, you get like that 3-day period where you can it's the rate of rescission where you could say, I may change my mind. If you sign a release like that, is that official like when the ink dries, or do you get a period where you can recant it? Is that a thing?
No, not in personal injury. So once you sign the release, that's it. Once you make a settlement in open court and you agree to take the money and you waive all your rights, that's it. Okay. You can't undo it. Right. You can't undo it. I have stories that are even worse. Okay. And I'll never forget this case. This guy, he speaks Polish. He doesn't even speak English. And somehow they got this guy to sign a release for $1,500. He fell off a scaffold. He fractured his back. And later on, he had all kinds of operations. I call the insurance company up. And they're like, no, we have a release. I'm like, you guys got to be kidding me. So I had to fight that out. And, the judge kind of deferred his decision on it. But, we ultimately settled the case. But really, there's no penalties. But that's the thing. Insurance companies will go behind your back and do things that they're not supposed to do to trick you. And that's only one of the tricks that they have in their bag. And they're counting on you to fall for this stuff. So please don't fall for it. Hire a lawyer as soon as you can.
Something that we've talked about a lot when it comes to dealing with like adjusters and insurance, and it always reminds me of when you watch like police interrogations. They always start out nice, like, hi, I'm your friend and we're bonding now and I feel you. And then like 30 minutes later, they're up in their face, like giving them the third degree and stuff. But insurance adjusters are sort of like that. They're very helpful at first, and let me get you through this. Sign here, by the way. But then later they can get a little vicious. So like, why does that happen? Like, walk us through that process.
Okay, so that's exactly what they do, right? You're going to get more bees with honey than vinegar. or
Mm.
whatever the saying is. I don't know anybody who puts vinegar out, but you know,
Apple cider, it's much healthier, I guess.
yeah, cider or something organic.
Yeah, something organic with the mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of bees are, they're allergic to wheat. What is that called? They have celiac, so you got to watch
They're
out what they
vegan,
put out there.
from what I
Right,
understand.
right. Also that,
Mhm.
that. Uh, yeah. Look, they're very nice to you because you're going to reveal things. You're going to let down your guard, and you want to be honest. Okay, people who are victims say, "Look, I don't want to be litigious. I just want to do the right thing." They've never been through the claims process before, so they call the insurance company. The insurance company says, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and in the meantime, they're like giggling on the phone. I mean, it's like literally, it's like a boiler room. It's boiler room, right? They talk you into doing stuff and they play like Jedi mind tricks on you, and you don't even realize it because it's your first time. So they gain your trust. Okay, that's number one. Gain your trust. Then they take advantage of you, right? And so, yeah, I mean, look, you're not gonna sign something that says, "Look, you sign the papers, sign the papers." It's not their job to advise you of your right to hire a lawyer. That's not their job. Their job is to save money, and this is just a picture perfect part of it. But they'll talk to you, they'll record you, and they'll try to get information that they're not entitled to. And the more you say, the more they have to use against you. So yeah, they're going to be friendly, and that is another trick of the trade that insurance companies will use. They will pretend to be your friend, and they're not. Don't believe it. Don't believe the hype. They're just, it's not real. It's not real. And I see more and more people falling for this because they want to be honest. They want to believe that the person on the other side of the phone is doing the right thing, but they have a job to do, and they're going to do it despite your niceties.
In all of our discussions we've had, it's always got me thinking, and just some of the tricks that you've talked about, and clearly they all do this, so which means they're trained specifically. Like there's somebody somewhere that does a class that says, here's how you get somebody to I mean, there's got to be some sort of like curriculum that they follow for this.
Yeah.
And it's like the trick class 101 because they're all really good at it. And what really
Yeah.
stuck with me is that you said one time that this is their job. This is what they do their whole life, their whole career. They're going to be better at it than you. It's just, what you give yourself to is what you become, and that's what they become. And so this is why it's so important to be represented properly and not fall into these tricks, which is why we're here, right?
That's right. I'm hoping that it somehow shed some light on what's really going on. I mean, people want to be honest, and people don't want to be litigious, because that's the way they see it. And they see this stigma about, I don't want to be the guy that goes to court and takes somebody's house. First of all, nobody's taking anybody else's house. Okay. Because there's insurance going on. Okay. And second of all, this is your right. This is your right to exercise, to hire a lawyer. And, the other thing is that people get confused. They get confused that they think that being a nice person is the same thing as being a good person. And that's just not the same thing. Okay. You could be a good person, and you can litigate to protect your rights because nobody else is going to do it except you. You can be a good person and still talk to the insurance company just to report a claim, even, but I don't advise it. But don't answer their questions. Don't trust them. Okay. If you trust them unnecessarily where it's not warranted, that's being a nice person. What happens to nice people? To get walked on. So it's still
Seriously.
okay to be a good person. It's still okay to have these values, to want to be honest, to want to do the right thing, but not necessarily to be a nice person. A nice person will finish last.
The trick they have, like you were saying, they want to sort of take advantage of people's good nature in a lot of these cases. Also, in our culture, and especially now, nobody has patience. Everybody wants, like, right now, get this done. So you figure, okay, I'm going to start a case. We're looking at years and years of this, and you just get overwhelmed by that. And I'm sure they take advantage of this by saying something like, well, why don't we just hurry up and get this settled, like the real fast settlement kind of situation. So how do they use that as a trick to kind of get this thing wrapped up real quick?
Okay, I'm really happy you brought this up. Another trick that insurance companies use to get one over on you is that they go for the fast settlement. Okay, they always, the insurance company, the insurance industry is very smart because they put together the commercials, and they also put commercials that are pretty much slanderous against lawyers like myself who practice personal injury, saying they're ambulance chasers, they're shysters. But in the meantime, who's going up to these victims of car accidents? It's the insurance companies trying to get the fast settlement. And why are they doing that? Because one big reason is they don't want the victim who is hurt to understand and realize how hurt they are. Because a lot of people don't go to the doctor right away. They say, oh, I think it's going to get better. It's maybe some bumps and bruises. So, the insurance company will swoop in and say, yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's bumps and bruises. That's the ticket. That's it. And they'll get you to sign something really fast, as opposed to waiting it out and seeing if more treatment is needed. Maybe medicine is needed. They got to fill the prescriptions. Maybe something else is needed. So the more people wait to find out what their injury is, then not only the value of the case is going up, but the medical bills are going up. And the insurance company wants to cut that off as soon as they possibly can. They don't want to pay anything that's going to go on in the future. They just want to pay right here, right now, and say to somebody who really wants to end the case, look, it's bumps and bruises. Let's just be ending it with it. I'll even give you money for your trouble. Here's a couple of $100 or whatever it is. So don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. See if you're really hurt. I mean, you got to get medical treatment as soon as you're in an accident. A lot of people don't feel it until, 24, 48 hours, sometimes even more. Things show up. So don't do it. Don't fall for that trick.
That whole thing of kind of presenting an offer up front just to kind of get you out of the way. There was a movie I saw once. I can't remember what it was, but it had something to do with a guy that played the Marlboro Man back in the day. And he was suing the company. I think it was called Thank You for Smoking. I'm not sure. I can't remember. And it was played by Sam Elliott, the actor. And what they did was he was suing for these millions and millions of dollars. And they sent the insurance people to his house with like a briefcase with money. And he didn't want to hear it. They eventually worked their way in. They popped open the briefcase and he literally saw the money for a fraction of what he wanted. And he ultimately signed for it because he saw the zeros in front of him. So I guess they take advantage of that. You can say, oh, $5,000 right about now. That's more money than most people see at a given point. It's like, wow, I could do a lot with that. And they kind of get, short-sighted and don't consider what the full ramifications of that, especially for future things that may come up.
Okay, I got a story about that. Okay, and it didn't happen to me, but it did happen to somebody who I knew, and he described this. Okay, he said that they went to a mediation, like a formal mediation, to try to settle a case. So the client was there, the lawyer was there, this guy that I know, and defense counsel was there, and the insurance company was there, and they sat down, and the offer was something like, I don't know, $40,000. The insurance company guy actually had a briefcase, okay, full of, it wasn't money, but he actually colored paper to look like money, and it was green, and he said, I'm going to stack this in front of you, okay? This is the same, thickness as money, and he stacked this whole thing up. Here's $40,000, okay? You're looking at $40,000. It wasn't real money, but you get the symbolism. This is what you're turning down today. Are you ready to do that? I mean, that's what they do. That's what I couldn't believe that actually happened. I mean, but that's what the insurance company guy did. And
did the guy sign off on that? Did he agree?
No.
I was gonna say, wow. I mean, several points for creativity, but
yeah. I mean, it's sick. I mean, yeah, it's a lot of money, but or a lot of times what they do is they make it divisible by 3 because they know the attorney fee is 1/3, right? So they'll say, they won't offer you $200,000, they'll offer you $210,000. Okay, so it's nicely divisible by 3, very easy math. Or, they won't offer you $10,000, they'll offer you $9,000. So they could say, aha, this is exactly what I get. So it's like a mind game. It's a mind game. Other tricks that they really study, and they'll draw like boxes, to get you in the box. It's all like a psychological thing. And it pisses me off that they really try to get in your client's head. Don't fall for this stuff, guys. Don't fall for the trickery.
Yeah, I mean, they're just trying to close this out, they'll sacrifice a little bit of money now for, the long term, not having to give you the big deal. Yeah. But you then sacrifice things like a future damage, which they often ignore or they'll undercut. So how are you factoring in for things like future damages when you're like approaching this? What's your move there?
So we actually have some experts that we often consult with. And as a result of an accident, when somebody's hurt, we take all the medical records and reports, and we go to the expert and we say, okay, look, this person is still hurting, and we want to calculate what the future is going to look like for this person. And this person they're called a life care planner, and the life care planner will say, okay, well, the percentage of these people with this injury, usually later on, they're going to develop arthritis. Um, they're going to have a shortened work life, and they're going to need certain medications to keep them off of pain. And these are all the medications. These are all the things that they are going to need. And we get a breakdown of costs, and we present that to the insurance carriers, and they don't like it very much. And that's, of course, something that the insurance carriers try to cut off by getting a quick settlement, like that release sign, very quick. But on the other hand, we know the value of a case, and we know and understand that a client has one shot, just this one opportunity, that to make their life better as a result of the accident, to try to get back to pre-accident status. And they're not going to be able to call us in 10 years and say, look, that money wasn't enough. It just wasn't enough. I need all these things down the road. So we plan for that. And people whose accidents are their first, they don't get that. They don't understand that. They're not thinking of that. Maybe because they're overwhelmed, maybe because they just don't have experience handling, cases like we do. But certainly a big advantage of hiring a lawyer and not falling for an insurance company and being a little too eager to settle their case.
Another area that I think of, because I like to war game this stuff through my head. I should probably be an insurance adjuster, because I might be good at it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
we can make a podcast.
Yeah, we should. And you're in a car accident, let's say.
Yeah.
Now, you could be in a car accident and take like a good shot to like the head, or break something, or it doesn't take always a lot to damage something. It's something just being hit the right way, or just at the right angle, or whatever. But if you're in one of those accidents, you're banged up, you're damaged, like sincerely damaged, and the vehicle is not, the property is not damaged, I would assume that one way they would kind of get around this, say, oh, it's a little dent in your car, you can't be that injured. So do they like minimize things like damage, property damage, etc., to kind of how they affect this claim?
And this is another trick that the insurance companies use. They love to do this. They love to say,
I'm on your side now.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah, thank you for bringing this out. Seriously, this is a great point, because they say, well, there's no damage to the car, so how hurt can you possibly be? Really? Okay. They do this all the time. Okay, all the time. Or what they'll do is they'll say, there's no damage to your car. Meantime, they don't show you the other car involved. Okay, that's probably destroyed. Okay, I love it when they do that. But you have to understand, when a car isn't damaged as a result of an accident, that probably means that the person in the accident is hurt more than somebody where the car is damaged. There's things called crumple zones. Okay. And
Yes.
It came about, God knows how many years ago. I don't know, 3 decades ago. And they're called crumple zones because if somebody's in an accident, then the car is meant to crumple, like to crush, to absorb the energy, so it doesn't go into the cabin where everybody is sitting. So when that doesn't happen, the energy still has to go somewhere. And where does it go? It goes into the victim. And that's what hurts them. It forces them forward, back. It jolts them. Sometimes it throws them against the car. Sometimes it throws them, against the steering wheel, or, the steering column. But the energy has to go somewhere. And another thing that the insurance companies do is they don't explain that, okay, well, there's no damage to the outside of the car, but what happens if you take the bumper off? What happens if you take that? And then underneath the bumper are other structures. Are those damaged? Well, we don't look at those, right? Why would we look at those? They never examine those. Or the frame. They don't bother looking at the frame, to see if the frame was actually bent, because this energy has to go somewhere. And I guarantee you, in an impact that's more than, let's say like 5 miles an hour or something like that, there's going to be damage somewhere in the car. And definitely, if there's no damage on the outside, the person inside is hurt. But the insurance companies love to do that. They love to say, look, nothing is broken on the car. There's no dents. There's no nothing. So don't fall for that, because let me give you a little story here. Okay. When I actually was in a car accident back in the day. And when I went to the doctor, they said, oh, okay, well, what hurts you as a result of the accident? What they didn't ask was, All right. Well, how much damage was there to the car? They don't ask that when they're coming to a diagnosis. And the reason why they don't ask that is because it's not important. It's not important how much damage there was to the car. That's it's meaningless to the injuries that you've sustained. And anybody out there, and I really want people to, if they're listening to this, put a comment in here or call me. I want to know what doctor that you went to that asked you before he or she diagnosed you, how much damage was there to the car? And I'll bet you there's not one doctor who asks how much damage was there to the car. It's because it's irrelevant. But the insurance companies magically, they think it's relevant, and they're going to try to trick you with that.
Now that people are watching this show and know that kind of stuff, if you are in an accident, you go to your doctor, should you bring that up? Should you volunteer that information? Get it on a record somewhere?
It's not necessary. It's not necessary. It's not even necessary. It's just the doctor should examine you, and do what doctors do, which is make you better. That's what they should do. But the insurance company doctors who get basically paid to say that you're not hurt, they'll be the first ones to say, oh, there was no damage to the car. Okay, first of all, they're not looking at the photos. And second of all, I don't know where they're even getting that information, probably from the insurance carrier. So it's a little biased.
So they break the laws of physics, is what you're saying. So
it's like they make things up. They really do, where they try to bend it. So that's why insurance companies often try to hire accident reconstructionists and try to say like, oh, the impact wasn't really that hard and it was at an angle, it doesn't affect. And what's happening now in New York is most of these accident reconstruction experts, as they call themselves, are not being allowed to testify because the courts are finding it's not scientifically based. So they can try everything that they want. They can pay as much money as they want, but the real science says that the amount of damage to a car is not dispositive on the issue of the amount of injury or the type of injury that you have.
So we've seen a lot of various manipulations of things, such as your psychology and your property. How about medical records? Do they have any kind of way of fudging around with those?
Oh, yeah, they love to do that too. Yet another trick of the insurance company. Okay, they say, okay, yeah, just sign these authorizations for us so we can get your medical records. In the meantime, the authorizations are like blanket authorizations that pretty much say you can use this for any medical record you want. They're not entitled. The insurance company is not entitled to all of your medical records. They're just not. If you hurt a body part in the accident, then they are entitled to it. But they're not entitled to something like 30 years ago about your foot. If you had an accident that you hurt your elbow in, it's not related. So don't do that, number one. And number two is they'll gather the medical records and they'll pick out things that really are meaningless. They'll say, well, you were in this prior accident, so you must have hurt, this body part before. But that's not true. Okay, because just because you're in an accident doesn't mean that you hurt the same body part as you did before. Or they'll say it's all as a result of the prior accident. And that's not true either, because you have to understand, if you hurt let's say you're in an accident and you hurt your neck and your back. Okay. And, ultimately you go to physical therapy and you get a little better, at least functional. Then a year after that, you get into another accident and you hurt the same body parts as you did from the first accident. There's a difference here. There's a difference between predisposed and pre-existing. Pre-existing means that the injuries existed before the accident, meaning that the accident really didn't cause you more pain or more discomfort. But predisposed means that because of a prior accident, those body parts are weaker than before, and it takes less of an accident, less of an impact to actually re-injure those body parts. And that's called an exacerbation of an injury. And that's what happens. But the insurance company will always say that this injury pre-existed, so you can't collect anything. No, sir. I finished all my physical therapy. I was back to work and I was hanging out with my wife and my kids and I was playing sports. Everything was fine. You try to convince the insurance company of that without a lawyer. It's impossible, because they know people are not very articulate on this subject. So please remember, there's a difference between pre-existing and predisposed. Yet another trick the insurance companies use.
I still always go back to the one you taught me, and I see this all the time. When somebody says, "Hey, Millian, how are you?" I stopped saying I'm fine. I just go right into. I tell them the truth. I said, man, I'm having a lousy day today. How about you? It's like I've gotten brutally honest, like even in that now. And I could not believe when you told me that, because they'll use like recorded lines. Hi, we're calling you on a recorded line today.
Right.
And how are you? How's everything? I'm because it's naturally programmed in. I'm fine.
Right. Right.
Next thing you know, wait. What do you mean we're settling because I'm fine? What's up with that?
Right.
So that's one of my favorite tricks. I got to tell you is like anybody now. How are you today? Oh, you don't want to know. It's been the lousiest day ever, man.
Right. Right. I'm
So,
telling you, you gotta, because you're exactly right. We're programmed, and the insurance company will take that recording, and they don't even, sometimes in some states, they don't even have to let you know that they're recording. Okay. You're lucky if you get something that says, this call may be recorded for quality purposes. Right. Yeah. They're very concerned about quality. Give me a break.
All
They're
right,
recording it because they want to nail you. They want to reduce the money that they're paying. But
so
yeah,
we do use recordings, A, and B, they
Yeah.
will. Is there anything else that they do besides the "How are you" fine thing? Are there other little verbal tricks that they can use?
Oh, yeah, they love things like like, okay, and how are the other passengers in your car? Have you seen them? Have you just, oh, how's golf? How's your golf game? Oh, it's good. It's good. And they'll get you talking about anything and everything. And that's why they try to be friendly. They try to get you to talk. The more you talk, the more they have to use against you, and they will. So don't say it. Don't say anything. Just answer their questions if you really are going to take the leap and talk to your insurance company, which you shouldn't without a lawyer, or just do the right thing and the best thing. Call a personal injury lawyer. Okay.
Do you know one offhand? Who's a good person?
Let me think. Let me think. How about you? Do you know any? I'm trying to think of one.
I know this guy named Richard Jaffe, Esquire. CohenJaffe.com is the website for the firm. You're going to go to 516-358-6900. I hear good things is all I'm saying.
I will help anybody out there, and you can just always call me. It's free. It's a free consultation, and you can call me any day, anytime. And also, please do me a favor. You got to like this podcast, and you'll have to subscribe to the channel and share, because I'm trying to get this information out to people to help people who are victims of car accidents who, they just don't know. You don't know what you don't know. So I'm trying to get the information out there, and I would really appreciate your help.
So they're a little unscrupulous, it seems. Whenever there's lots of money involved, it usually brings out this character in people, and insurance companies. They always have the tallest buildings in a city, so that should tell you something, right?
I know it's and they're great at collecting their premiums. Okay, if you're late, you're going to get an email at 12:01 a.m. saying you're late on your payment. But you call them for help, and then they are recording you and trying to cut you off.
We'll get back to you after this weekend.
Yeah.
Like, wow. Okay. Yeah. So lots of delays, lots of mental tricks, lots of things, man. That I'm still stunned by that. How are you? I can't believe they actually do that, but they do it.
How are you? I'm fine. Okay. So you haven't been to the doctor in a while? No, I haven't. So it's they'll get you. They'll get you. I have a list of many tricks, and you know what? Actually, I'm going to try to put a publication together to put a link in down below. But that's going to take me a little bit. But I really do want to warn people. I don't think we have more time on today's episode, but I think I'm going to make insurance tricks part 2. I might have to do that.
I think
we'll see. I mean, if you guys want to see that out there, if anybody wants to see more tricks or hear it, just comment below. Or give me a call and say, look, can you talk about X, Y, and Z? I want to know what you want to know about. If you have questions, I want to answer them. And I want to give you this information for free. And if you want to talk to me directly, you can always call me, 516-358-6900, or online at CohenJaffe.com, CohenJaffe.com. But I think that's all the time we're going to have for today, Millian. I really appreciate you highlighting these things.
One last question, just while I'm thinking. Yeah. If you know your insurance policy, it gives you a little bit of ammo to know what you're up against. You would review someone's policy if they needed that, right?
I will review your insurance policy for free to make sure that you have the right coverage. Everybody says, oh, I have full coverage. And that's what the insurance companies do. They say, oh, yeah, you have full coverage, but they don't tell you really all the benefits that you're entitled to. So Again, that's not really their job, but I'm happy to do that.
Awesome.
You're entitled to get reimbursed for a lot of things that you might not otherwise think about, like mileage driving to and from the doctors. You can even get your deductible back. There's ways to get your deductible back when you're paying out for property damage. So don't lose money by not calling me.
I think a part 2 is definitely in order because this is good stuff, man.
Yeah, and it's making me upset. I sweat a little more. I'm schwitzing, and that's how you know that I'm really upset.
Oh boy.
So
Listeners, listen on YouTube. If you're watching this, make sure you like, follow, share, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Let us know where you are. If you've been through any of these tricks, if they've actually pulled any of these on you and you caught them or you beat them out some way, let us know. Leave it down below, and we will be happy to cover it on a upcoming episode and dig into it a little deeper. So in the meantime, remember CohenJaffe.com and the number 516-358-6900, excuse me, with my man Rich over here. So let's get it, my friends.
All right, everybody. Take care. We'll see you on the next episode. Take care, everybody.
And that's it for today on the Injury Law Podcast channel, brought to you by the Law Office of Cohen and Jaffe. I'm Richard Jaffe. Thanks so much for joining me. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. I'll see you next time.